Meh. Meh.
Alright, well, it's Wednesday morning. It's rainy and wet. I waited till most of the rain moved out, but it's supposed to be on and off until like 10 o'clock. But then after this front pushes through, temperature's gonna drop. Even if we don't kill one today, it's just gonna get better throughout the week. I don't mind hunting in the rain. The camera doesn't like it. And the only thing I don't like about it is when you shoot one, you're worried about a blood trail, but it's starting to crack light enough to shoot, so I will be paying attention. Well, everything's wet. I'm wet. My backpack's wet. Everything's wet. But that little one come in, and I tried to convince myself that was a big doe. She was directly underneath me. I'm gonna get down. It's 9:40 now. It started pouring down rain. And I put the bag back over top of the camera to keep it from getting wet. But she ran right down here and stood there for forever and fed around again. And then she finally left out, but when she was under me, I was trying to convince myself that that was a big doe. I 100% would have shot her if I was in a different spot, but I'm not supposed to shoot little ones here, so I don't understand is all these acorns are dropping and they're not eating them. I'm gonna go down to this river down here, or down to the next section of timber. And it's predominantly white oaks. This is predominantly red oaks, but the closer you get down to this river, it turns into predominantly white oaks. And last year there was red oaks everywhere, but there was no white oaks. And maybe the reason they're not up in here feeding 24/7 is because them white oaks are dropping and they're down there eating the crap out of them. So we're fixing to find out later. Dang it, I almost got a shot at them things. I figured it out. This is exactly where them deer were standing this morning. They were literally right here under me. The doe I was about to shoot at, it's like 6-7 yards. So hopefully I'll get a shot. There's a rub line going back through there. There was a little one up the hill from me. The wind's iffy. Like right now it's coming back out of the river and going up, which is probably the least likely way I expect the deer to come from. But they very well could come off this ridge and then go on a trail that's right behind me. As long as it don't switch and start pulling straight like this, like it has been, then I'm fine, because they might come from that way. If that same group of deer come back, they went that way, so they'll come back straight up this path and end up at 5 yards. It'll be a slam dunk. White oak acorns are everywhere in here, and that's why them deer weren't coming up there. I knew there had to be something up. And that's why all of a sudden they disappeared out of there. They've ended up down here on this river because these white oaks are dropping and these acorns are all good. Every one I've picked up's good, so they're not big, but that's why they're in here. But hopefully we're gonna stay in there with the one. I'm gonna get to paying attention. I'm feeling really confident. Really, really confident. Man. Well, she's dead. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not very happy with myself for the shot I just made. But she's dead, and I got her. Even though I hit her right there, I've got the deer in my possession. So I feel better about that. She didn't get away. And that's, you know, a lot of it. But right here is where she was standing. This is the first arrow. This is my follow-up arrow. This is the first arrow here that went through her and ended up in the ground. You can see, I mean, it's just fat content all up there. But then you look, and you're like, there's no deer right there. I know. She had her head down like she was dead. And I was getting down and she got her head back up. And I was like, oh crap. And she got her head back up. And sure enough, buddy, she was trying to get up. So I ran down here and put another one in her. Because I was afraid if I tried to cut her throat with my knife, she was going to run before I get down here to her. But you can see, this is where she was bedded. And I mean, it's, you know, I think that froth is from the second shot. I think the follow-up shot was all lung and liver. I want you to look at this. This is where that deer stood for a long time. She stood right there. Look at all the blood. So my guess is it hit an artery. It's my guess. But let's go down here and get her. Let's go down here and get her. But anyway, you're like, why ain't she laying there? I shot her right in the shoulder on that last shot. And she got up and was struggling really bad. But got all the way down through here. Now she's laying in the creek. Literally laying in the creek. So I gotta take my friggin' pants off to go over there and get her. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, man. You'll see my saddle and stuff's laying down here where I chased her down here. There she is. Laying in the middle of the creek. There's my last arrow that killed her. Oh, So now we got round two. We got that other deer taken care of, and it's ready to go. But now, this other deer ran up to the top of this hill and stopped. So, I'm hoping it didn't make it very far from up here. I'm gonna turn my tracker on and slip up here before it gets dark. She's bleeding really good. Lots of blood. And right there lays a deer. Yes! That one went how it was supposed to. Holy crap. Yes, dude. Holy crap. 2 in 1 sit, baby. This one's just as big. Look at that. Buddy, that thing cleaned her clock. I'm sitting just right down here. Holy crap. I just killed 2 in 1 sit. Well, it looks like I got my work cut out for me tonight. The first one did not go how I wanted it to go, but I've already done full recovery. The reason I didn't mention much about the second one while I was down there was I thought I was going to leave it till tomorrow. It's supposed to be real cool tonight. I was just going to come back in here and hunt tomorrow and then hope that, you know, one come back through. And then if not, I was going to go look for the other one. Because obviously it was back. I mean, she was quartered really hard, but then when I shot, she turned straight away from me. And it cleaned her out. After I went down, got this one gutted and did all that and had that fiasco, I was like, okay. I was like, I know where this one is. I know it's dead. I gotta wade across the creek to go get it. I mean, it's been a while. I mean, it's probably one of the wildest hunts I've been on. I feel a lot better now because this one died within 75 yards of where I shot. I mean, she didn't go nowhere. She just ran up here and then fell over dead. I mean, she looked weak when I seen her stop up here, and I took my eyes off of her to look back at this one to make sure this one didn't get up, and she was on the ground right then. She died quicker than this one did. So, you know, I can't be more thankful for that. Yeah, I hit to the left of where I was looking, but I didn't jerk that one. I did that one. I'm not proud of it, but that one worked perfect. I mean, I probably wasn't that far. I mean, I wasn't 3-4 inches to the left of where I was looking. I mean, not even 3 or 4 inches, probably just a couple inches of where I was looking on this one because of how hard she was quartered. You can see it in the video. And then when I shot, she helped me out by turning even more, and it come out. When I skin it or drag it or whatever's going on, I'm hoping to God Dad gets his radio out and hollers at me, because if not, I'm going to be here for a long time by myself. This spot's blown up. I probably won't come here for a while. I'll probably give it a couple of days before I come back here. That's how quick things can change. I mean, I went from seeing no deer. That one ducked me opening day. Thought I missed high on that, but she just ducked me after I watched it back. Shot to the left on this one, hit it through the neck, and then barely shot to the left on that one, but buddy, it cleaned her out. I mean, it did exactly what it was supposed to. It's the first deer I've ever shot with a magnet stinger, and buddy, let me tell you, it cleaned her clock. To die within 75 yards within like 10 seconds like that at a steep quartered away shot. I mean, I have full faith to take that shot now because that was insane how quick that deer died. But this one, you know, I'm just glad I got her. I would have found her. She was bleeding really good. But anyway, I'll tell you what happened. So I walked in here this morning and I found this spot. And, you know, I knew it was here. I've hunted a couple years ago and I never did get a deer, but I told Dad to come down here and he shot one. And then I was like, the only thing that would make sense of why they're not on those red oaks up there while they're pouring the acorns is either A, the moon phase has them moving in at the middle of the night and the middle of the day, and I'm just not here when they're there, or B, they're on these white oaks and these white oaks are dropping. So this morning after I hunted, I was like, I'm going to confirm that. And I walked down here, and this whole group of deer was standing right there, right under that tree they were feeding. So I was like, alright, perfect. So I almost got a shot. I think it was actually this doe right here. Or no, it was this one right here. I don't know. It was the one with the two little ones. I don't know which one it was, but I almost got a shot at it. Just immediately left after they spooked, and came back this evening and got in the tree right above the tree they were feeding under. And I wasn't there very long, and boom, they were there. And they snuck off this ridge to the right of me, right where they ran this morning when I bumped them. And they come right back. And it was probably only like 4:30. I mean, it's dark now. Think about how long that whole escapade took. I mean, well, not 4:30. I'd say like 4:45, 5 o'clock is when they come back out. One of them was right to my right, and she kind of was getting ready to hit that path and come up under me, and I was just going to shoot her right there. I didn't know this one was here. And I got my bow over my tether, and I was getting ready to draw back, and I don't know if she caught my scent, but she caught something, and she looked up and she stuck her nose up in the air, and then as she stuck her nose up in the air, she caught a glimpse of me. And then she just hopped up the hill. And I was like, okay. Well, these other deer just went back to feeding like nothing ever happened. So I swing the camera around, and then this real big doe, the biggest doe, and a spike pops out right in front of me. So the spike goes on, she steps right out in the open, I get the camera on her, I draw back, get settled in, and I'm just about to let that string go, and that one behind me blows, and there they all go. I was so mad. I mean, you can probably see it in the GoPro. I just stuck my head in my hands, and I was like, there's no way that just happened. Well, she just sat up there snorting for a while, and then she quit, and I watched two deer go across the creek, and I was like, crap, they're going across the creek, and then they're going up that way. I was watching a deer walk up that way. But then these two big ones and two little ones come slipping right up through there. And I was like, oh crap, they're coming back. Well, I figured they'd eventually go back to feeding. But they stood there for a while, and then they acted like they were going to leave. And this one here was leaving. But this one here was the bigger doe, so I was waiting on her. And she stepped out in the open, stopped, I drew back. But buddy, my heart was pounding. I've never had target panic where I jerked the bow to the left. I used to shoot high all the time. But I've since fixed that. And then all of a sudden, I just jerked the bow to the left, like bad, and plucked the string really bad, and hit her right through the neck. And then she walked down and stopped. I mean, it just sliced right through her neck, and then that was it. And then she started struggling. I was just waiting for her to step out, and I was going to shoot her again. And she stood in that brush pile, and I could just see the blood pouring out of her neck, and I'm like, she's going to die right there if she just stands there. Well, sure enough, this one here just stood there with her. She finally started to walk out, like walk away. Well, when she did, this one tried to follow her, and she was way too weak. She wasn't going. And then this one kind of went on around, and then that one bedded down, and that other one stood there for a long time. And I watched her. She was real weak. I was just waiting on her to lay over and die, and it was taking forever. And I was like, I'm going to try to get another shot in her. But I was looking through some branches, but I was trying to find a gap and to see if my arrow would go over the branches and into her, because she was like 15, 20 yards. And I put the camera on the other side of the tree, and I was getting ready to, and then this one circled back, and they started walking right back to me. And there was another one there. I think the doe that was snorting at me was standing there. And I was getting ready to shoot her, but then she walked off, and then this one came right down to me. And she stopped for a second, turned broadside, and I drew, and then she started to quarter away, and you can hear me going, meh, 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 trying to stop her. She wouldn't even stop. Well, then she stopped hard quarter, like really hard quarter. You know, I shot one like that last year, and it zipped all the way through it, and dead as a doornail. So I was like, oh, well, I'll poleaxe her. And I shot. And when I shot, she kind of ducked and straightened up. it just cleaned her out. I mean, went all the way up through her, cleaned her out. And she ran up here and stopped. And when she stopped, I thought I lost sight of her, but I think I was concerned about if this one right here got up or not. But I knew she was so weak she couldn't even keep her head straight. So I was like, I don't think she's going to. So I turned around, and sure enough, this one was still laying there. When I turned back around, I didn't see this one anymore. Well, because this one was on the ground dead. So because I took my eyes off this one, then I was concerned about this one as well. So I tried to get a follow-up shot into this one. As you can tell, it did not work. I hit the tree or something with my limb, and I thought I broke my bow, but she didn't even move. So I was like, I'm gonna put my rappel rope, shoot down the tree, and go put another arrow in her, and then I'll climb back up the tree and get my stuff down. And then I was like, by the time I fool with this one, that'll give me enough time to let that one die, you know, if it ain't dead. Because the way she ran up there and stopped, I didn't think she knew what happened. But realistically, she stopped because she was getting ready to crash. I just took all my attention off of her to look at this one, and I probably would have heard her crash up there. I roped down, or I rappelled down, got another shot into this one, but she was kind of laying to me a little bit, so I kind of snuck around her. I was really afraid she was going to be able to get up, and I drew back, popped her, and I was like, okay, she's dead now. Yeah, and I could see the blood coming out. I seen the arrow buried up in her. I was like, yeah, she's dead now. So then I climb up the tree, go get my stuff out, and I look and her head's back up. She was completely laid down dead. And I look and her head's back up, and I'm like, oh crap. Well, then she tried to stand up and almost got one of her front legs up under her, and I went, oh crap. So I had already started rappelling. So I started rushing and got my platform off and just threw it down. Got my stick off and threw it down and just zipped down the tree. Got down, got my last arrow out, walked up to her, and I was going to try to cut her throat with my knife. Well, then it looked like she was going to try to get back up. She seen me and was trying to get up. So she kind of straightened up. So I drew back and I hit her right through the shoulder blade, and it went in, got both lungs. And then she got up and took off running. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. This thing is tough. And it took off, and I took off after. I picked up the arrow that I shot while she was bedded in the tree, and picked it up out of the ground, threw it on the bow, and took off running down there. And then she got to the edge of the creek and then just down into the creek. So I went back up, got my stuff, went back down to the creek, and got her. And then, you know, did the video, blah, 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 whatever. Came back up here and drug her, got her gutted, took some pictures and got her up here. And then I was like, okay, well, while I got daylight, I'm going to look for this one. I'm going to at least get some intel. And I walked up there to right where the shot was, and there's blood everywhere. And I was like, oh yeah, it cleaned her clock, she's dead. And I followed a heck of a blood trail with that stinger all the way up to her. And then I followed it for probably 50, 60 yards, and then looked up the hill, and right there she lay dead. So I feel a lot better about that one because I hit pretty close to where I was looking. I mean, these deer down here on this river aren't very big. This is a big nanny doe for this river, and usually they're about this size. Like, this is the size of a mature doe down here, but when they get real big and old, this is usually what they look like. She's probably 100 pounds. And then maybe a little over, and then this one's probably like 75. It's been an eventful day. Very eventful day. I feel a lot better. I'm still sick about this one. You know, it worked out. That single bevel, you get them, if you're as anal as I am about how sharp your broadheads are, stuff like that will help you out, and a lot, like a ton. I got a lot of work. I'm procrastinating by talking to this camera. But I swapped them both. It's quick. It's crazy how quick things can change. I mean, I went from feeling like a fool to 2 deer in one evening. The day before a cold front. But I knew this evening was going to be good because that rain was going to stop and that sun was going to come out. I got a lot of work. And I mean a lot of work. So. And then I got to sharpen broadheads if I want to hunt in the morning. Oh. Anyway. Let's get this over with.